karting and actual rally driving? Because I watched an interview that was done, Pauline Shegu, who's participating in this particular safari rally, and she attributed a lot of her success in rally driving to a stint in GP karting. Make sense?
Well, the earlier you can get into a driving zone and a competitive driving zone, the better it is for you. And so, of course, GP karting provides people with a venue where they can go out and try their skills, they can try their driving. And obviously, if you're good at karting, it will translate. It will translate.
Oh, and you know, if some of this, the likes of Kale Rompera,
yes,
or the likes of Craig Breen, who passed on,
yes,
the Croatian rally just before it started. You started in that kind of fixture for children, and that's why they were able to kind of like put up that synergy for being able to transcend into the teenage racing, and then of course eventually to this bigger WRC series.
How about e-gaming? Because these days, even at university level, you can get your e-gaming degree. And we're seeing a lot of video games. Kids who have that kind of exposure early enough, they're sort of inspired to go towards car racing, bike racing, bicycle racing, and that sort of stuff. Is that, in a sense, connected to actual practical rally driving itself? Can it lead you in that direction and lead you positively at it?
Well, in Formula One, they definitely do spend time in simulators, which is basically a big game. And I would imagine they have the same setup in WRC. But I mean, anything that helps with your hand-eye coordination, anything that helps with your getting into that competition mode, obviously will help you when you do get finally into a rally car. But like I said, you know, competition, rallying is not just about the driving and the navigation. There are very many ways you can get into it. There's the technical aspect to it, and so there are many ways you can get into it. You know, drivers. You know, how many drivers do you have in the WRC? So it's not very easy to get into that, but you can get into the sport in many other ways.
And I've seen it, you know, like that gaming. I've actually seen it with my grandchildren.
Yes, you said,
you know, like 5
grandchildren. Eh?
5, and
wow.
Sometimes they challenge me. Guka, can you be able to kind of like drive this car? You know, like it goes into a corner, it jumps. You know, it gives you that kind of like attention,
yes,
and focus.
Yes. And
of course, that one can actually translate you into go-karting, let alone, and then the national championship that we have with the likes of Mr. Kigo.
Yeah. Incidentally, a lot of people may not know that we have a very vibrant karting championship in Kenya. It's called the Kenya National Karting Championship, and some of the kids there start off at the age of about 7 and 8, and there are some 10-year-olds there who can really give you a run for your money. They have about 10 rounds in the year, and they award a cup at the end of the year. And we have
plenty.
Yes.
They're just waiting you to wink, and then they say, no, bring it to our side.
Yes.
We honor it. This is something that the government should actually be proactive and push it and make sure that even this contract for 2026 is extended to 2030.
Okay.
Or 2040 something.
So, Kego, that transition you're talking of is a transition in the way Safari, the WRC was conducting rallies.
The way the Safari was.
And us guys were still on road.
But that was the Safari we had.
Yes.
And
things were moving on.
It stopped working like that. Yeah, let's say it stopped working. I wouldn't say it's one big thing that stopped it.
But
it just stopped working.
And so
that time we've been away, we fine-tuned it, we figured out what they want, what the world wants from us.
Okay.
And so the Safari is here.
I get you. That point, I felt as though I needed a bit of clarification on, because okay, fine. Because there was also another transition that took place in 2002, one that we had not had before, is one regime,
the political one,
handing over to another regime.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to assume it was the political transition you're talking of.
Yeah. This is rallying.
This is rallying, strictly rallying.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now that we're moving towards an East African Federation, and the talk is there increasingly, and we're even talking of hosting a joint bid for the Africa Cup of Nations 2027 as East Africa. And remember, this started off as the East African Safari Rally in 1953. If we were to look ahead a bit, Are we looking at the possibility of a return to the East African Safari Rally?
Yeah, there is actually
using this as a using the Kenya Safari Rally as a springboard.
There is actually a possibility, because you remember those early days. You know, it used to be started here in Nairobi, they go all the way to Kampala, and then come back to Nairobi, they go all the way to Dar es Salaam, and then come back to Nairobi. We want something huge. We want a huge market. We don't want kind of like a small enclave, because the bigger the market, the better even for our product. That federation is good for us, just like the European Commission,
European Union, EU.
Yeah, that's where we are headed to. We don't want smaller domains. This is our own thing. We want this thing to revert back to the East African Safari, and the beauty of that.
Okay, well, would that work, given that you've just informed us that off-road rallying is no longer a thing? How would we be able to do it?
For me, I would have a different opinion.
On-road rallying is no longer a thing.
Yeah,
so how would we actually do it? Off-road.
You know, rallying is the rules and regs come from the FIA, and the direction we have been moving into for the last maybe 20 years is short, closed stages, short, closed roads, very localized events that have one service park. And this is all in an endeavor to maybe make it a little cheaper. So an event that goes through 3 countries, I think people would really have to look at the rule books to see how it could work. I'm not so sure it could, but you never know, anything can happen.
Yes.
But the way the FIA is set up now, the way the rallies are set up right now, they are more localized. Maybe the union could decide 1 year in Kenya, 1 year in Uganda, 1 year in Tanzania. That might work. But a rally that goes through the 3 countries, I don't know. I don't know whether that would be part of the WRC.
Of course, Manakigo, that would not be possible. What I was actually looking at is one time is that federation becomes one. One time we are in Tanzania, the other time we are in Uganda.
That could work.
The other time, of course, we are in Kenya.
That could work.
You know, that movement of people,
yes,
that movement of market,
yes,
that movement of expenditure, that is the kind of stuff I'm looking at.
What a rally that would
yes,
work.
Yes.
That would be quite something.
Yeah.
And it's spectacular.
Yes.
A rotational rally of sorts, yeah.
Now, let's reflect, because we've come to the end of what was the time of our lives. Your moment in this safari rally?
My moment for this safari.
Best or worst?
Best. I would say exactly when Sebastian Ogier came back without a spoiler. And then he goes into Hell's Gate 1.
Yes.
And he comes out and beats Carilon Pera, despite the dust that was actually getting into his car.
Yes.
That was my KBC moment.
What is a spoiler?
KBC Channel 1 moment.
What is a spoiler?
You know, that spoiler that actually, that's kind of like a wing. That when the wind hits that spoiler, there's even better traction on the wheels, which makes the car stable. And you see, actually, when we're watching that Hell's Gate 1, you'd see the Sebastian Ogier car would kind of like move from one point to the other.
Yes.
Because the traction was not 100%, maybe it was 7%, but he still made it.
And it wasn't helping the fact that he didn't have the boot.
Absolutely. Yes, that was the
door to
that's
the boot.
spoiler, yes.
That's the spoiler.
Yes,
the door
that
to
is
the boot.
connected to the boot.
Oh, okay, that's what you call a spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler, yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's kind of like a wing. You know, like those winds that come from Kinongi, that area, that it hits the Hell's Gate. You know, that when it hits that wing, you know, the car becomes more stable and he's able to move. You could actually, there was a lot of zigzag for Sebastian Ogier, but that was actually my best moment.
Just to add to that, the spoilers on the car are actually there to create downforce. They are actually there to create at speed the car is being sucked onto the ground.
Yes.
And that gives them more stability. So without that one at the back, the car must have been very light, and still it produced a brilliant, sparkling drive.
Your moment? Best or worst? Doesn't matter.
I think I agree with Daudi. That drive today in Malewa, in Oserian, was brilliant. Ogier, he's a tactician. He knows when to put his foot down. He knows when to back off. And his end game was the win. His end game was the win, and he has achieved what he wanted. So big up to him, and let the young guns learn from him, you know.
Okay. Best moment in history. 1953, 2000, up to 2002, and then 2021 to 2023. which is your best moment? Just pick one.
I would say my best moment would be Shekameta winning 5 times.
Wow.
5 times. 1973, was it 73?
Yes.
And then again 79, 80, 81, 82. Shekameta.
Yes.
Co-driven by Mike Doty. That to me is actually unforgettable in terms of WRC.
Wow. Shekameta.
Shekameta, yes.
Yes. I'm glad I found him.
And again, Yogender Singh,
yes,
who died he was a Shuja.
Yes.
And then he goes, he actually migrated to UK, London. And then he dies on a Mashuja Day, October 2013.
Yes. Wasn't it just a few days after Mashuja Day?
Yeah,
but it was around that time anyway.
20th of October 2013.
Exactly.
Exactly. Absolutely.
My goodness. Look at that. I'm glad I found Shekameta, although I can't actually remember him win the event. He participated even after 1983. So I'm glad I found him still participating, and he was quite a hero, man.
Yes.
He really was. Yes. Kego, your favorite moment?
I have very many. Maybe most memorable is meeting Joginder Singh and Tommy Makinen in an event.
Okay.
And being able to recognize that was a picture that really wasn't going to be possible again, maybe.
Yes.
And so that's one of them. I've had many memorable moments. Even before I started rallying, I was a fan. I watched rallies from my late teens.
Yes.
And I've been to Mogotio to watch rally. I've been in far places, and really I feel blessed to have been born in Kenya and to have spectated and even taken part in the Safari Rally.
Yes.
This is a real legacy for our country. We need to be very proud of it. It's a story that will be intertwined with the Kenyan story until time immemorial. So many moments that I remember.
So Joginder Singh and Shekameta, may they rest in eternal peace.
Yeah.
But we are told legends never die.
They never die. We're still talking about them.
Yes, we're still talking about
them. It might be the other moment for me, especially last year. It was actually when Gus Greensmith rolled and it didn't have a windscreen. Yeah. But the car came back onto the track and was able to drive, with those goggles and facing all the weight and dust.
How about as a media practitioner? Now those are your personal stories, I believe. But as a media practitioner, which was your best moment ever?
My best moment in WRC?
Yes.
Doing live commentaries at KICC.
Wow.
5 hours of talking during flag off. I still have those pictures, and when I was a young man with hair.
Yes.
With an afro hair.
Yes.
And those were my greatest moments.
Oh.
Live commentaries at KICC, flag off.
Brilliant. Kego, as a rally navigator, your best moment, not the personal level, now as a rally navigator, as a professional, which is your best moment?
Well, we finished Safari probably, but this was before the WRC came back.
No problem.
Yeah, with my driver Leo Varese, we had an 1800cc car that one piston wasn't working. So Taiso, our magician of a mechanic, removed the wire, the plug wire, plugged something into the hole, and we drove around the last day on 3 pistons, just leaving a trail of oil all the way.
And finished the rally?
We finished the rally. Rally. We got a dispensation because that time we were coming back to KCC and we were in actually Soisambu. So we got a dispensation from the officials that we could carry our car since our car was going to be a hazard on the road. But we had finished the competitive section and they allowed us, and our car was towed all the way to KCC, just to Parliament Road. After we reached there, we took out the rope and we drove it onto the ramp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, smoke and oil and all.
No one complained that
we had just done the safari.
That is rigging and stuff.
No. We had asked for permission and we had finished the competitive section. This was a road section.
Okay.
And so the officials, the steward sat down and they agreed that it was fine. And we are not the first ones. Many people have done it before.
Amazing stuff. The coverage of this safari rally has been brilliant. When the WRC production teams come into your country, man, they come in big, and they've marketed Kenya. Look at those helicopters. Chasing a rally car is not for the faint of heart, but they're doing it even at the most pivotal moments. We are not missing out on anything. And then they've edited that live production very, very fast towards the end and given it a beautiful closing. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. So thank you so much, WRC, not just for helping us organize this rally, but the way you've covered it. The coverage is absolutely brilliant.
And just to add on to that, they are commentators.
Yes, they're
Julian
commentators.
Porter, Julian Porter,
yes.
Paul King,
The Peter Drury's
Molly Petit,
of rally driving commentary.
Yeah, all those people, the kind of stuff that they give you live, and you tend to think like they do it, like whatever is happening, they do it at Park Fermé, at Naivasha.
Yes.
And you think that they are the sleeping warrior.
Oh,
Those people,
goodness. Yeah.
their commentaries is beyond reproach.
So they can work from home and still nail it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now that you've been in rallying for many years, and we've seen that there's something about rallying and family, has any of your children or grandchildren shown those signs of going towards rallying, even if not as a rally driver or a navigator, but you can see their enthusiasm as a bias towards rallying?
Might be my grandchildren, not my children. They are into different careers.
Oh, goodness. Keko, you took your son down to Naivasha, didn't you, on Friday?
Yes, we were there, and of course he's definitely a mad motorsport fan.
Oh.
And you know, he knows. In fact, I say he's my consultant. He's the one who tells me who's won or who's done what. And so, yes, definitely, you never know. The world is at his feet, so you never know.
Oh, that's brilliant stuff. Kanja, I don't know whether you're ready with the WRC calendar lead for the year so far.
Yeah, for the year so far.
Because
let me see.
We had mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
And I know you've more or less worked on.
Now, what's happening now?
Yes.
The 7th edition now.
Just done and dusted.
Just done and dusted. Kali Rovampera is still leading with 139 points. He's actually followed by Thierry Neuville at 102. And then, of course, we have Elvan Evans. Elvan Evans has 98. And then, of course, Sebastian Ogier has 97. This is the leaderboard. Odd Tanak has actually 97 too, just like Sebastian Ogier. And then we have Esa Pekalapi at 68. And then we have Danis Sodo at 46. We have Takamoto Kasuta at 35. And then we have Pierre Louis Rubet. This is the guy who drove with the president as his co-driver.
Oh.
He's actually at 28. And I don't know why they're still putting Great Brain here. He's really passed on. He's actually at 19 points.
He scored points.
He's got points. When we come to the manufacturers now, which is actually very brief, we have the Toyota Gazoo Racing. They have 283 Kego. And then we have the Hyundai, 241. And M Sport Ford World Rally Team at 174.
Okay. Let's go to the award ceremony in Naivasha. We wouldn't want to skip a bit of this because it's so important to acknowledge people after they've put in such toil, their sweat, their tears, the sacrifices from their support system. So over to Naivasha.
We'll start with the national anthem, followed by the East African anthem, the national anthem.